Hey friends, Cheryl Kirchbaum here with a report about the March for Life 2022. So I was there for the rally because I always want to hear what they have to say. And I wore this mask because it's warm and it's an advertisement. So here you go. This is what I look like at the march with my sweatshirt, Worship to End Abortion. Kind of cool in that a friend of mine asked me, how can I get my hands on the sweatshirt? Another friend asked me, how can I get my hands on the mask? And I was like, I've only printed them for myself. Maybe I need to make them available to more people. So that'll be upcoming. But I wanted to tell you about the march itself, the rally, what I heard at the rally. There were a number of stories that I really enjoyed hearing. There was a woman, an African American woman, who told the story of being in crisis pregnancy and choosing abortion and the devastation that that had on her life, which I can attest to as well. And the cool part about her story, though, is that the father of the baby came back and apologized, and then they ended up getting married and started a family and are now pro-life advocates. So it's a great, great redemption story. Loved it. There was another young woman, a college student, 19-year-old, who, despite being kicked out of her parents' home, chose life. And a pro-life organization has really supported her through that decision, and she's still in college, going and doing it all, despite being a new mom, and she finds such joy in her daughter. Love that story. And heard from a young woman with Down syndrome and how she values her life, and how sad she is that there are not more people like her in the world because their life was taken from them before they even had the chance to take a breath of air. Well, I also heard from a whole lot of senators, and that was the part that was really frustrating for me. There was a lot of talk about the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade and this being the last march, and I absolutely agree. I believe that Roe v. Wade will be overturned, that abortion rights will be sent back to the states. That being said, there was one little blip about S 1975, the Women's Health Protection Act, that has already passed the House of Representatives and is sitting in front of the Senate waiting for vote. Our Senate sits at 50-50 right now. And if they vote 50-50 on this, then it goes to Harris, and you know that she's going to pass it. And here's the deal. The Women's Health Protection Act is incorrectly named. First of all, the word woman or women is only used in one paragraph. All the rest of the time we're referred to as pregnant people. So there's that. There is talk about the injustice of abortion, which is inaccurate. This is not a justice issue for women. Women are traumatized by abortion. And you're like, well, what about all these women who are walking around doing just fine? Well, I used to be one of those women. And once I received some healing, I realized that I was walking through life like the Walking Dead. And I didn't truly become alive until I completed my healing process. And you can read about that in my memoir if you'd like. So, these people who are out shouting their abortions, these women out shouting their abortions, I think they're the Walking Dead. And they're out to justify what it is that they did. And the reason I say that is because that's who I was. I used to be the pro-choice movement. I volunteered for pro-abortion or a pro-abortion organization. I counter-protested the Christians who were protesting at an abortion facility. That's who I used to be. So I understand that side very well because that was my experience. That's where I've been. But the Lord has redeemed me, has shown me the light. He's shown me how wonderful it is to be completely free and redeemed. And if we want women to stop advocating for abortion, then we got to get them healed. And we're just going to end up with more women traumatized by abortion if S1975, the Women's Health Protection Act, is passed. So there's only one little mention of that. People did not know what the senator was talking about. I was carrying a sign about it. I got one person who had any clue what it was about. Everybody else just kind of looked at it blankly, like, I don't know what she's talking about. And this is a problem because if the Women's Health Protection Act is passed, there will be abortion rights. It will be pro-abortion all across the nation, all 50 states. It won't matter what Texas or anybody else does. There will be free reign. There is a whole section in this act all about commerce. This is a money issue, all right? We just had the FDA approve the abortion pill to be sent via mail without medical consultation. So pharmaceutical companies are making money off of the pill. And I can guarantee you that when the Supreme Court sends abortion rights back to the states, that the pro-abortion movement is going to use that as a rally cry to pass the Women's Health Protection Act. And then it won't matter. It won't matter what the Supreme Court says. All right? So we get a real problem here. This was not brought up yesterday. There was no rally cry. There were video clips from pro-life senators across the nation. Not one of them mentioned this. So, and even we've got headlines today that say this is the last march. Yesterday, somebody said we'll continue to march. We everybody's talking about the end of Roe. Nobody's talking about the Women's Health Protection Act, and that's a problem. We have got to end this, and it starts with us. Revival starts with us. Revival starts in our own homes. I did this myself several years ago. I said, Lord, I want revival to start in my house. And God started with me, and he changed me. And by changing me, he changed my family. And it has only grown from there. Revival starts with us. We have got to get serious about our prayers. So I'm inviting you to join my Worship to End Abortion groups, to sign up on this newsletter. There's going to be a refresh on this book for the Lenten season 2022. And I am expecting that we're going to do this electronically because it takes longer to publish a book than it does to publish online. So I invite you to join me and other Christians, pro-life Christians of every denomination. All right. Yes, I have some suggested prayers, but I include all of the Bible verses there. So if you don't want to pray those suggested prayers, then you can use the Bible verses to pray that you want to pray. I just want you to pray. And I want us to pray in concert. I want us to pray together. This new update is going to be the same content if you already own the book, but it's going to be a different rhythm. So we're going to just do things in like 2-day segments, pretty much. So sign up, join me. We've got to pray. We've got to pray seriously. We've got to pray revival. Because honestly, this nation isn't ready to go completely pro-life, and to think that returning abortion rights to the states, that the Supreme Court returning rights to the states is going to end it, is naive. It's not. All right. I love you. You want to learn more about me, go to mybodymyworship.com. Sign up in the newsletter. I will keep you apprised, and we will get this book out. And the Lenten, we worship for 40 days during the Lenten season, starting March 2nd, which is Ash Wednesday. All right. Blessings to you all.